Hey everyone, my name is Masha and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful bracelet. So this tutorial is a little bit more advanced than my regular tutorials, and before watching this I would really recommend that you watch my video on how to keep the edges of your bracelet straight so that you don't feel lost. And if this is the first bracelet that you're trying out, I would recommend maybe trying out a different one first, because this one is a little bit more difficult than all the other patterns that I've shown you thus far. But if you think you're up for it, then continue watching. So I decided to go with 6 colours, and these are the colours that I chose, but you can choose however many colours that you like and whichever colours that you like. So I often get asked what kind of brand or colour that I'm using, and obviously you don't have to use the exact same colours or brands that I use, but for those of you who do want to know, these are going to be labelled from 1 to 6, and in the description I'm going to leave the brand name and the colour code if you want to get these particular threads. So before I get into explaining this bracelet, I would just like to explain why I make videos on some bracelets and I don't for others. So for some bracelets, like these ones, there is a very clear and simple way of segment knotting them, which is somewhat of a shortcut that lets you make the bracelet easier than you would row by row. But this isn't the case for all of the bracelets. Bracelets like these are more the exception than the rule. So when you guys send me patterns and you want me to make tutorials and videos on those specific patterns, it's pretty much impossible for me to do that because bracelets like these that are easy to make are very rare. So please don't take it personally when you send me a bracelet and I have to decline making a video on them. I try to make videos on bracelets that I think are very easy and cute so that you guys can have a chance of making them as well, but it's not possible for me to do that for every pattern, both time-wise and also it's literally not possible to segment knot all the bracelets very easily. So now that I've said that, I also want to mention that I'm using the straight edges technique for this bracelet, which is why I have 2 extra strings on the side. There's going to be a card and a link in the description for that video because I'm not going to go into extreme detail in this video of how to do that. So now let's get into making this bracelet. As you can see, I did the triangle end at the beginning. You could also do that if you'd like to, or you can entirely skip it and just start from this point. It depends on what you'd like to do. So now that we've done that, let's start making our bracelet. So as I said, I've already started the triangles, but if you were to start at this point, you would arrange the strings symmetrically in the order that you would like to see them in the pattern. So looking at our pattern, from row 1 to row 6, we can see a very clear-cut triangle that is going outwards to inwards. And that's what we're going to be doing first. We're going to start by taking the 2 pairs of strings that we have in the middle, separating them from the rest of the group and separating them between each other as well. And we're going to make a forward knot on these ones and a backward knot on these ones, bringing the strings into the center in the form of a triangle. Once we've brought these strings into the center, we're going to close the triangle by making a knot between these 2 strings. Next comes the next triangle with the next 2 pairs. So we separate the next 2 pairs. We take the string that's on the left side, and the string that is on the right side. Those will be our main strings for this triangle. And on this side we make forward knots, on this side we make backward knots until we reach the center. And then once those strings have reached the middle, we do a knot between them. So as you can see, for the first few rows, we're literally just doing triangle V shapes. So like essentially just a chevron. So again, we take the next 2 pairs and we do the same thing. We take the outermost strings either side and we bring them to the center, and then we make a knot between the 2. So now that we've finished with the arrows, the chevrons, the V-shapes, however you like to call them, we're going to have all the other rows catch up with this one. So we're not going to knot further than the last row that we're doing, which is row 6 for us right now. And we're going to take the outermost strings, and the first thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to do backward, forward, and forward, backward knots onto the edge string that we have, which is extra, which is the straight edges technique. It's not part of the pattern, but it is something that I like to do to keep my edges straight, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Right, Alright, so now that we've sorted out the edges, we're going to take these outermost strings and we're going to do a chevron as well, but we're not going to complete it. We're going to do the chevron up until the last string that is here, but on the last string we're going to do a forward backward knot and a backward forward knot on this side. So again, taking the outermost string, we're doing forward knots on each of these except for the last string, onto which we're doing a forward backward instead. And the same on this side, we're going to do backward knots with the outermost string onto each of these strings except the last one, onto which we're going to do a backward forward. So now you can see that the red string has approached the blue string. They're on the same row now. So that's what I said we were doing, right? We're catching up with all the other strings to this row. So now we do the same thing, but with the next one. So the blue one that's in the center, we've already done. The deep red, we've already done. So I separate those and put them off to the side so that you have a clearer view. Now we have these strings left over. We take the one that's on the outermost edge, and again, backward, forward on this side, forward, backward on this side. This is just to stabilize the bracelet to keep the edges straight. And now doing the same thing again here. So we're doing a forward knot, and then since this is already the last string, I was going to say we do forward knots until the last string, but this is the last string already. So we do one forward knot, one forward backward, and on this side we do one backward knot and one backward forward. So now that we've done that, we can clearly see that all the strings have evened out and are all in the same row, except for the last one. And for that, again, for these ones, we just need to make stabilizing knots. Backward, forward, forward, backward. So from this point, we're going to start with the outermost edges. So we're just going to separate the two outermost threads plus the edge thread to the right. And on the right side, we are going to do a forward knot and then a forward backward knot onto the edge thread. And then the same thing for the left side. We separate the two outermost threads plus the edge thread, and then we do a backward knot plus a backward forward onto the edge. Now we separate the edge string and the string that we just did the backward forward knot with. We put them off to the side because we're not going to be using them. And we take the next thread that we're going to be working with as the main thread, which is this pink one for us. Because like what we're doing, we're following the pattern, right? So we went in with the pink thread and now we're going out with the pink thread. And we do, on the left, we do one backward forward. And on the right we do one forward, backward. And now, since we've done all the outermost strings, we just have the ones in the middle left. This is the point where we start making the little diamond in the middle. So you see the light blue diamond on this row. We're going to have another diamond here, but with the darker blue. So the strings in the middle, the dark blue strings, we already have a forward knot at the top because when we were doing the V shape, we did one connecting the two. So right now we're going to have the dark blue thread going out to those sides, so sort of a reverse V shape. We're going to do a backward knot onto one of these and then a backward forward. So we're taking this blue string, right, the dark blue, we're bringing it to the left and then reversing it, so we're doing a backward forward. And same here, but the other way around. So we're doing a forward knot onto this one, so bringing this string to the right, and then a forward backward onto this one, so we're bringing it to the right and then reversing it. So what we've done now is we've sort of brought all the strings out that way. So we see that we did the V shape, bringing all of them in. Now we've started bringing them all out. So with the little diamond in the middle, we brought the diamond bit out. And now, see it, we have a diamond here. We've got a dot in the middle. The pink one here. We've changed colours, so the dot is going to be a different colour on this one, and we're just going to do the dot by connecting the two inner threads. And at this point we're going to start bringing all the threads back into the centre and sort of closing the diamond off. So we're going to start with the dark blue thread that we had here. We start with the inner diamond, and we just make a forward knot on this side, a backward knot on this side, bringing the dark blue into the centre. And then you connect the two dark blue threads. So by doing that, we've closed off the first diamond. And so all the other threads, we're going to also bring them into the center, but we're not going to close them off completely. So we're not going to make a full V shape because we have another diamond and then another diamond coming after this. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring them in and then reverse them again because they're going to go back out once the next diamond starts to open up. So this time the next color we have is this deep red. And we're not touching the dark blue, as that is also one of our leading colors, but with the deep red on either side, I'm just going to focus on the left side for now, we're going to do a forward knot and then a forward backward, so we're bringing it in and then reversing it back out. Same on the other side, we separate it and we do one backward forward, so again we're bringing it inside and then we're reversing it back out. And we do the same thing with the next colour, which is this slightly lighter pink. We do one forward, backward, again bringing it in and then reversing it back out. And same thing on the left side, backward and then backward forward. And the last step for this row would be to do the stabilizing knots on the edges, backward forward on the left, forward backward on the right. So we've done one of the diamonds, we brought all the threads out and then back in. So for the next diamond we do the exact same thing, we start bringing all the threads back out again just as we did when we finished the triangle here. So essentially from this point, from when we finished the triangle, we just repeat this entire section once again. So starting with the lighter pink that we have here, and I say lighter because it's lighter than this deep pink, not because it's lighter than this one, obviously it's like the middle one. So we start with this one and we do forward and then forward back on the stabilizer. So now that we're bringing them all out, we're starting with the outermost ones. When we're bringing them in, we're starting with the innermost ones. That's usually how it works. So again, for this side, backward and then backward forward. The next color we have is the deeper pink, for which we also have a backward and a backward forward. And on this side, a forward and a forward backward. And now that we've done the pink, it's time for the actual blue diamond that's in the center. And again, we've done the knot in the middle, so we're just going to bring the blue out and back on this side to the left, and then out and back on this side to the right. So again, backward, backward, forward. And forward, forward, backward on this side. Now time for the dot in the middle, so I connect the two strings here. And now we've done bringing them all out, we start bringing them all back in again, and starting with the center, we're going to bring the blue string, the dark blue string, back into the center, the forward knot on this side, and a backward knot on the right side. And then connecting the two as we close off the diamond with the blue. Now again, since we have another diamond, we have 3 diamonds of each for each color, we're not going to be closing off these colors completely as we did last time. We're going to be doing there and back, so we're going to be reversing the colors. So starting with the color that we need next, which is the deeper red, the deeper pink. Once again, bringing it to the center and then reversing it back out, since it is going to be coming back out again for the next diamond. So forward, forward, backward. And then the same but in reverse on the other side, which is backward and then backward forward. Then the next color we have is the slightly lighter pink. And again, you guys already know the drill, forward, forward, backward on this side. and backward, backward, forward on this side. And once again, just the stabilizing knots. Bringing everything back out, we're going to start with the edges as usual. We're going to take the middle pink and we're going to do backward, backward, forward. Same on the right, forward, forward, backward. Then the next colour is the darker pink. So again, forward, forward, backward on the right. And backward, backward, forward on the left. And now we get to the actual diamond, for which again we're bringing the blue thread out. So on the right side we're going to do forward, forward, backward. And on the left side we're doing backward, backward, forward. And we do the dot in the middle. And that's it. This is literally the point where the pattern starts to loop again. So ignoring the triangle ends that we've done, this is the entirety of the pattern. So you have to loop this exact thing. Obviously the colors change because the colors change in this pattern, but as you guys know, if you've watched my how to read normal patterns video, you ignore that and just do the pattern as normal. If you want to follow my tutorial, you can start it from the beginning again at this point. So you start with just the triangle ends, bringing everything to the center, and then you start again with the 3 diamonds, and then you bring everything back into the center again, and then you do another 3 diamonds, and you do that until you reach the end of your pattern. So I'm going to continue making this bracelet, and I'm going to check back in with you once I'm done. So this is how the bracelet turned out in the end. I think it looks really beautiful and I definitely love it quite a lot, and I think that it looks great with different color combinations. For example, I made this bracelet before with this color combination and I think it also looks pretty cool. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. The pattern for this bracelet, if you want to use it, will be linked down in the description, along with some other videos that might help you make bracelets in the future. And if you ever make anything based on any of my videos, I always love it when you guys send me pictures on Instagram, whether that be a DM or a post. I always love seeing your guys' creations and I love interacting with you guys on there. So thank you guys for watching. I post videos every Tuesday and Saturday, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye!